Press conferences are usually all about microphones and mind games, but this one erupted into pure chaos.
It reminds me of like one of those budget YouTube hood movies where someone just talks about their whole life and what they've come from and talking as if they're from one of the ghettos in Iraq or Africa or somewhere like that. But you know, he's got a sob story, he's running by it, and that's what makes him feel better, so we respect it. I just kind of listened and said my piece.
And you said to him, what have you done? Tell us what you've done.
Because as I said, like, you line up all the heavyweights. He was just talking about, oh, he's this, he's that, he's that. I said, but why are you worrying about what someone else has done? What have you done as a fighter to kind of boost your ego up? But he couldn't answer it because he ain't fought no one like us.
Jake Paul played his usual role, smirking, poking, and testing limits until Anthony Joshua rose like a man who'd finally had enough of online antics and disrespect. In an instant, AJ was in his face, furious and fully locked in, making it clear to Jake that this isn't a prank channel, this is heavyweight business.
Yeah, if I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna break his face, I'm gonna break his body up, I'm gonna stomp all over him. That's my mentality, right? That's a fighter's mentality, and I know what's in my heart, I know what's in my mind, and I'm here to compete. I'm here to prove myself that I'm the better fighter, so I'm looking forward to it, and I'll do that until I finish fighting, no matter who it is.
Doesn't matter, we'll fight now. We'll fight tomorrow. He snapped hands suddenly. The room felt far too small for two egos of this size. Security rushed in, voices exploded, cameras rattled, and the crowd roared like they just witnessed round 0 of the main event. One thing became crystal clear in that moment. Jake Paul may have thought this was just another marketing win, but AJ turned it into something real, the kind of fight where emotions get bruised long before faces do.
Is that look, Netflix have spent a lot of money, MVP have spent a lot of money, and Jake would look like a plonker if he pulled out the fight now after giving it the big one, and he knows that, and this fight's happening, you know, and that they think. Look, one thing I'll say is this. If there was ever a good time to fight Anthony Joshua, it's probably now, right? Coming out of what will be 14 months of inactivity. By the way, he's also been in training camp for 4 weeks or 5 weeks, the time comes around. He's having to make weight. Maybe the confidence isn't where it has been in his career. So yeah, you can start dressing it.
Sliding straight out of the press conference chaos and right into Teddy Atlas territory. It suddenly feels like we're sitting at the boxing family dinner table while Uncle Teddy pours some scorching truth over the mashed potatoes, and listen when a legend like Teddy starts saying, hey, don't be shocked if Jake Paul actually has a chance. You almost choke on your drink.
It's a choice of where people want to go to watch. It's still their choice. Before we look at all the reasons why Joshua should smash him, he's a pro fighter, 2-time Olympian, 2-time heavyweight champ, you know, bigger, stronger, highest level of fighting at this weight class. I mean, he should destroy him like he destroyed Ngannou. And a lot of people will use that comparison. But styles make fights. And Jake Paul's not going to fight him the way Ngannou fought.
Man breaks it down like he's solving a crime. Jake's younger, Jake's faster, Jake's sharper when it comes to those sneaky contract clauses. And Anthony Joshua, he hasn't fought in ages. He's cutting weight like he's auditioning for a modeling gig. And mentally, who knows which version of AJ even shows up on fight night. Teddy is basically handing us a checklist of details the internet forgot to mention, including how, in Jake Paul's world, simply surviving 8 rounds could count as a win.
Where maybe Paul has some advantages. He's younger. His feet are a little faster. I know he's not at that level of a fighter, I get it, but his feet are faster. Joshua's feet are not that fast, closing gaps, getting to somebody. To hit him, Even if you're better than him, you still got to get to him to hit him. Also, Joshua, last time he fought was over a year. He hasn't fought. He was basically retired. Where's his mind?
He even pulls Netflix's lawyers into the conversation. Like, they're protecting the future of mankind, making it clear they're not about to greenlight a live disaster special. And you, me, everyone watching are sitting there thinking, wait, is Teddy Atlas actually saying this upset could be real? That's the moment it hits you. This fight has officially shifted from a circus to a science experiment too. Maybe, just maybe, something we shouldn't be laughing at anymore than sliding out of Teddy Atlas and straight into Dave Allen. The Jake Paul versus AJ circus suddenly feels less like a sideshow and more like a psychological thriller. Allen sounds like a bartender who's heard one too many unbelievable stories and doesn't trust anything anymore. He's sitting there staring at Boxer like it's a crime scene, double-checking Jake Paul's past opponents just to be sure his eyes aren't playing tricks on him. And you and I are nodding along, because this matchup genuinely feels like someone smashed the randomizer button on boxing.
I'm just putting it out there that before you just say, yeah, it's got to be Joshua, don't discount how smart Mr. Paul has been so far. I wouldn't count him out in the ways that I just laid it out.
Dave starts running through Jake's resume like it's a roast menu. YouTuber check, basketball player check, MMA fighters who retired before TikTok even existed check, and when he gets to the Tommy Fury lovely bloke, but really just an area title level guy, my coffee practically pauses mid-sit. Allen gives Jake his flowers. Top 3 heavyweight of the last 15 years versus a guy who used to tip the scales at 13 stone, taking on YouTubers. Even logic is trying to tap out. Then Dave Allen does what every honest boxing mind eventually does. He says the quiet part out loud. This isn't funny. This is dangerous. Heavyweight sleep mode. Dangerous. Full stop. Dangerous.
I reckon this kid Jake Paul could win an area title. Definitely. I really think he could. He trains hard. I respect all of that. I respect him for what he's doing. Brilliant. He's having a go. Amazing. But he's now fighting arguably a top heavyweight of the last 10, 15 years. One, it's dangerous. We're talking like it's a real fight. The whole thing I've been doing right now is based on it's a real fight. They're both going to try and fight in each
moment. AJ lands a clean shot. Jake might start wondering why the world suddenly has two moons. And Dave isn't being harsh, he genuinely wants AJ to drop him clean. Jake gets up at 10. Everyone collects their stacks, and we move on without a trip to there. But then he hits the nightmare scenario. What if AJ actually injures him? What happens to the sanctioning bodies, the promoters, the sport itself? As he lays it out, we're sitting there with that same nervous grin. Because yeah, it's all fun and memes, until a heavyweight cannonball meets a cruiserweight stunt. Dave sums it up perfectly. He'll watch it like you watch a circus trick, entertaining, but with a paramedic on standby.
Dave starts listing Jake's resume like a roast menu. YouTuber? Check. Basketball guy? Check. MMA fighters who retired before TikTok existed? Check. And when he gets to Tommy Fury, lovely lad, but area title level at best. I swear, even my coffee paused to listen. Allen gives Jake his flowers. Top 3 heavyweight of the last 15 years versus a guy who used to weigh 13 stone fighting YouTubers? Brother, even logic is trying to tap out. And then Dave Allen does what every honest boxing brain eventually does. He says the quiet part loud. This is dangerous. Not funny, dangerous. Heavyweight sleep mode, dangerous.
Getting out of Dave Allen, who broke down the AJ versus Jake circus like a man inspecting a theme park safety manual, we land straight into Steve Gifford, the guy who's been inside Jake Paul's camp, taking jabs for breakfast. Watching the chaos unfold up close, Steve sounds like that one friend who says, "Yeah, bro, it's insane, but hear me out." Holding a metaphorical parachute, he explains that Jake's mindset is the real wild card. The guy genuinely believes he can beat Anthony Joshua, and, honestly, That stubborn confidence is half the reason this fight even exists. Steve's basically saying Jake's been itching to prove he's more than just a YouTuber with a heavy right hand. But business politics kept matching him with ex-NBA players and semi-retired MMA fighters instead. See,
dangerous. He's not a heavyweight, he's a cruiserweight, if that. Turned pro at 13-2. And he wasn't a kid, he was 23 years of age. He wasn't a kid, he's not grown into heavyweight. He boxed hold us, as I said, as 5 months ago at 14-3. Might cut a bit of weight, might come down from 15 stone, but it's dangerous, really. It's dangerous, very dangerous, because if Anthony Joshua hits him on the chin, he will put him to sleep.
He finally gets to unleash his full arsenal against a man who hits like a runaway fridge. It's like skipping driving lessons and jumping straight into a Formula 1 race. Bold, impressive, and terrifying all at once. And Steve's there nodding, like, yep, let's see how this plays out. Then the interviewer drops the classic UK debate. Is AJ chinny? Steve reacts like someone just insulted his grandma's cooking. He breaks it down perfectly. Heavyweight punches aren't gentle taps, they're meteor strikes. Think Ruiz, Dubos, Klitschko guys who could flatten anyone. When asked if Jake has the power to hurt AJ, Steve goes full scientist. His point: speed is power. Danger doesn't always arrive in a flashy cape, sometimes it sneaks up wearing nothing more than Nike footwork.
The intrigue is there to watch it for me, yeah, I will watch it. The same way I would go to the circus to watch, to be entertained by something a bit mad. But Anthony Joshua, for taking the fight, I'm not sure, so it's a lot of money to turn down, to be fair. But if Anthony Joshua goes in there with Jake Paul, plays nicely, wins on points, takes longer than 2 or 3 rounds, reputation with the casual public done. I'll watch it. If he's holding her up and playing nicely, I'll understand. I'll watch it and think, well, he could have.
Says Jake is quick, sharp, unpredictable, but he's quick to admit Joshua isn't showing up for a game of patty cake. Age is preparing for Tyson Fury next, and Jake is barging into that plan like a wild card villain. So the real question isn't can Jake land a punch, it's can he survive what comes back. And that tension is exactly why we're all counting down the days like kids waiting for a roller coaster drop. This AJ versus Jake Paul saga is part blockbuster, part science experiment. Joshua turned the press conference into round 0 training, like a king, sharpening his crown, while Jake rewrites the script with wild confidence and heavyweight level sparring partners. Teddy Atlas warns us about the sneaky variables. Dave Allen calls it entertaining, but genuinely dangerous. And Steve Gifford reminds us that mentality plus speed might make this far crazier than anyone expect.
Joshua, he's accomplished everything in boxing, from Olympic gold medal to now a 2-time undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. So I think as far as him taking this fight, if anybody deserves to go and have a fun fight like this, it is Anthony Joshua. And Jake, he is kind of showing that he'll fight anyone. Why is he chinning? Because he got stopped by Daniel Dubois and Ruiz. I mean, listen, this is a contact sport, like if you get hit, the human body's not made to be getting punched in the face. If you get hit, especially by these guys, Andy Ruiz, who's a good puncher, Dubois, we know is a big puncher. You get hit clean, you're gonna go. You're possibly gonna go down. Especially those guys, 230, 40, 50 pound guys. But I would imagine he's gonna come. He's gonna be on his P's and Q's. He knows there'll be a lot of eyes on him for this fight, so he's gonna be looking to make a statement, because I think they have plans of him fighting Tyson Fury next. So I think he's going to take this very seriously, and Jake's definitely taking it very seriously, and he's going to try to ruin the plans.
So at the end of the day, if AJ comes in fully locked and loaded, it could be lights out fast. But if Jake hangs in there long enough to make us all raise an eyebrow, we might be witnessing one of the most shocking, polarizing moments boxing has ever seen. Drop your predictions in the comments. Who takes it? How long does it last? And is there any universe where Jake actually pulls it off? And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Ringwire Extra. Catch you in the next one.